Hey everyone, we're talking a little bit right now about mindset. I know it's a word that gets thrown around a lot out there, especially in the coaching industry or the self-improvement industry. Mindset, you hear a lot about this, and it's kind of nebulous. It's a little bit foo-foo, a little bit fluffy, right? Mindset, we have to have the right mindset. I don't want mindset, I want results, I want tactics, I want to know what to do. I don't want to have to worry about how to condition my brain. That's fantasy, that's out there, right? And I think a lot of us think that. But let me just say this, I've got a few thoughts about mindset. I've done a lot of studying about it, and I've come to the conclusion that yes, mindset is important. It may not be, at the end of the day, we do need to know exactly what to do and how to move forward, and taking action, nothing beats taking action. You've heard me say that a lot. But mindset is where everything starts. And so if you're not paying attention to your mindset, or at least feeding your brain on a regular basis, then you're doing yourself a tremendous disservice. So let me I guess step back and just take you through a little thought process here with mindset. So we've all heard that your mind, or the way you think, produces your actions. So your thoughts turn into your actions, and your actions repeated turn into habits, and your habits ultimately determine your lifestyle and your ultimate outcome, whether or not you're going to achieve your goals, and on from there. So that's the crux of the process that's most important. That's the big differentiator between the average Joe and the most successful people. And it starts, the foundation is in the brain. Successful people look at things differently. They look at time as an investment. They value their time. And they look at little things done repeatedly every day over a sustained period of time. They say no to things that less successful people say yes to, okay, because they value their time and so forth. So it starts, though, with a mindset. If you have the mindset that my time is so valuable, naturally you're going to start being really careful about what you do with your time. So you're going to start saying no to things naturally. You don't have to force yourself. You don't have to create that habit by force. Like, I'm going to start saying no. I'm going to stop wasting so much time on social media. I crack down a lot on social media because I think it's a big culprit in today's world, but it could be anything. You will naturally do that as soon as your mindset is such that you truly value your time. When you truly value your time, you're going to say no to things that are wasteful of your time. That's a natural outcome of that mindset. The outcome is the habit, or the activity, and done over a sustained period of time becomes a habit. So when you change how you think about something, the natural outcome is your actions will change. My kids have a tendency to tell me, they make promises. Yes, I'm going to do this, please. If I have issued a punishment or something, they say, please give me back my, internet access or whatever. I promise. And my answer is always the same. Words are great. I love it. But I look at your actions. What you do tells me where your heart is and what you truly mean. Not your words. Anybody can make a promise. It's our actions. And the actions come off of our mindset. So yes, mindset is important. Mindset is synonymous with default. In my mind, what I teach this idea of default. What is your default? Well, I shouldn't say mindset is synonymous. I should say they're cousins. They're right there in the same camp. Your mindset is how you think, but your default is what you go back to when you've got nothing to do or nothing to think about. It's your default. So let me give you an example. I was running this morning, and unintentionally, I promise I did not mean to, I was passing this older gentleman who, as it turns out, he was a Marine, and I could only tell that because he was wearing a hat, Semper Fi or something, and anyways, he was just walking along. We were near a park, and because I was running and he was in front of me, I passed him from behind. Well, he must have been in a zone because he didn't hear me until I was like right behind him, and he was shocked and I guess taken off. He was not expecting me to be there. Let me put it that way. So he turns and he goes right into this stance like he's gonna fight or something. He puts his arms up like this, and I'm running by and I'm like, whoa, because I was a couple of feet away from him at this point, just passing him. And he turns, he stops, and turns, hey, and he gives out this big yell, and he gets in this stance. He didn't have to think. It was his default. It was like, boom, and I'm sure there was some military training in there where he's maybe done some of that, or, he's been trained for combat, or I don't know. I have no idea what his background was. All I know is that he didn't have to think about anything. It just went boom. It was right there. And it was something that was ingrained as a part of him. And during the run, I thought about that, and I realized, he's got his mind conditioned to a certain thing, to a certain way of reacting. And, it might be more common than I think. I don't know. I haven't come up on too many people that have turned and done that to me. When I'm like, hey, good morning. I was trying to be all friendly. He's like, I'm sorry, you startled me. And then I'm like, no problem. I went on my way. But it made me realize, our defaults and our mindsets are really important. And it's not that you should put everything into your mindset and do nothing else. Nothing replaces massive action. You can be half dumb and partly stupid and only a little bit talented, and if you've got massive action and hard work behind you, you can actually make some great things happen. Now, if you're talented, sharp, smart, and you take massive action, all the faster, all the better, all the bigger, but nothing replaces massive action. So if you combine it with a good mindset and a good default and good habits, then it's just going to propel your success. So I'm an advocate of mindset, but I think there might be some coaches that put too much emphasis on it and not enough emphasis on, okay, great, your mind's good, it's not perfect, it's going to get there, but let's move on, let's start taking some action, let's get some things done. So I'm a good proponent of some balance there with feed your brain, but also take action every day. Imperfect action. Imperfect action is fine. A lot of people take imperfect action. You learn as you go. That's how you learn. You have to take steps forward. So those are my thoughts on mindset. If you're spending too much time on mindset, aka education, training, analyzing, analysis paralysis, things of that nature, or at least that's what it can turn into, take a step back and go, you know what? There's always going to be something else new to learn. Time for me to start moving forward by taking action. Nothing replaces action. So anyways, take it for what it's worth. Comment below, like, share, follow, do what you got to do, and I look forward to talking to you next time. Thanks.